year 2347. The galaxy was quiet, too quiet. For more than 100 years, no one had seen or heard from humans. Long ago, they were feared and respected across the stars. But then, they disappeared. Some aliens believed humans were extinct. Others thought they had hidden themselves. But no one really knew. Then, one quiet night in the far edge of the galaxy, something happened. A weak signal appeared on an old Galactic Council radar station. The station floated above a cold, dead moon. It was mostly silent, run by only a few workers. An alien officer named Tyrax, young and curious, sat alone in the control room. He was bored. Nothing interesting ever happened here. Suddenly, his screen blinked. Signal detected. Origin, unknown. Human language. Tyrax froze. He leaned forward and hit play. At first, there was only static. Then he heard Ita's voice. Small, scared, human. Is anyone out there? This is Ilara James, Colony 417. We need help, please. They're coming. We can't stop them. They took my mom. The message cut off. Tyrax's heart raced. A human, alive. He replayed the message 3 times. Each time, he noticed something new. In the background, there were loud sounds, screaming energy blasts, and a strange deep hum, like a machine breathing. He sent the signal to the Galactic Council instantly. In the center of the galaxy, the Council met in secret. Dozens of species sat around the glowing circle table, all powerful, all afraid. A tall, insect-like alien named Zeltor, leader of the outer sectors, stood up. It's a trick, he said. The humans are gone. We all agreed to forget them. A soft-spoken counselor, a water being named Lumestra, replied, But what if it's real? What if a human child is calling for help? Zeltor slammed the table. Humans are dangerous. If they return, war will follow. Their anger shakes planets. Some agreed. Others stayed silent. The final vote was made. Do not respond. Let the message die in space. But not everyone agreed. One alien captain, a lion-like warrior named Vor, had once fought beside humans during the Sarnak Wars. He remembered their courage, their strength, and their mercy. He couldn't forget them when he heard the signal. He didn't wait. He made his choice. We owed them more than silence, he growled. I will go. He took his ship, the Emberclaw, and left the safe zones. Of space, his crew begged him to turn back. The message could be a trap. But Vorak believed in something deeper. Honor. After 4 days of travel through dangerous sectors, they reached the edge of Colony 417, but it wasn't there anymore. The planet was cracked open like an egg. Cities destroyed, mountains burned. The sky was black with ash. Strange symbols glowed red across the land. Not human, not alien. Something else, the crew found no signs of life. But then, in a collapsed bunker near the northern pole, they heard breathing. They found her Ilara, James, age 12, pale skin, messy hair, covered in dust and blood, but alive. She stared at Vorak with tired eyes. Are you here to take me too? She asked softly. No, Vorak said gently. I came because I heard your voice. She didn't smile. She just nodded back on the ship. They cleaned her wounds and gave her food. She spoke slowly, carefully. She told them what happened. It started with lights in the sky. Then the stars vanished. Something blocked them. Dark ships, smooth and silent, came down without sound. Weapons didn't work on them. People vanished when touched by their light. Ilara's mother hid her in a cold storage pod. She watched everything through a small camera. They took everyone, didn't kill them, just took them, Vorak asked. Who did this? Ilara shook her head. I don't know what they are, but one word kept showing up on their screens. She tapped the table and spelled it, void. Later that night, Vorak stood on the bridge, looking out at the broken planet. His second-in-command, a tall reptilian named Silis, asked, Do you believe her? Yes, Vorak said. I saw fear in her eyes. Real fear. Silis leaned closer. If this void is real, we may be next. Suddenly, alarms screamed across the ship. A strange signal was approaching fast. They looked out into space and saw them, dark shapes, silent, like shadows. Given form, no engines, no heat, just cold. One of them blinked a red light once and then the ship's lights went out. The lights flickered on the ship. Emergency power came back slowly. Vorak stood on the bridge, his claws gripping the command rail. The dark shapes outside were gone. No trace, no signal, no energy trail. Just cold space again. What were those things? Silas asked. Vorak's voice was low. The void. Back at the Galactic Council, a new emergency meeting was called. The human signal was no longer a rumor. It had been confirmed. A copy of Ilara's message and the planet's destruction report were sent by Vorak. He broke the council's orders. He sent help. Now, every council member watched Elara's words play on a large screen. Her voice echoed in the silent room. Please, help us. They're coming, When the message ended, the room stayed silent for 10 long seconds. Then Zeltor stood up again, his face twisted in anger. You see, this is why we feared humans. Their presence brings chaos. Their enemies become our enemies. Lumestra shook her head. But that girl is innocent. She was scared. She was alone. And what of the creatures she spoke of? Zeltor snapped. The ones who came from the dark, who destroyed her colony. No one had an answer. A thin, bird-like alien named Chevelle stood up. She was a historian, a quiet voice in most meetings. I've read about them, she said. The void is real. Very old, not from this galaxy. They do not speak. They do not take land or power. They just erase. Council eyes turn to her. They find life, and then remove it. Completely. No bones. No ruins, just silence. Someone whispered, ghosts. Worse, Chevelle said. They are patient. They wait until we forget, and then they come. Far away, Vorak's ship, the Emberclaw, stayed hidden behind a small asteroid field. Their main systems were still not working. They didn't know if the void was still watching. Ilara sat in the medbay, quiet, holding a soft alien blanket. Her eyes were wide open. She didn't sleep. Vorak sat beside her. You were. Very brave, he said. She didn't answer. Do you remember anything else? Anything that can help us? She nodded slowly. They didn't speak, but they showed things. Visions and dreams. What kind of visions? Ilara looked up at him, her voice low. Stars going dark. Planets falling into nothing. A machine, as big as a moon. Vorak stared at her. A machine? Yes, it eats stars. I think that's where they took everyone. Back at the council, debates turned to fear. Some members said to send fleets, others said to do nothing. Zal Tor shouted, We do not fight shadows. We don't even know what we're facing. But then Chevelle played an old recording. Something she found in the ancient archives. It was from Earth, nearly 200 years old. A human general speaking to alien allies. If they ever return, and you hear no word from Earth, look to the stars. If one human calls out, you run. You find them, and you help them. Because if we return, so will the war. The message ended. Everyone in the room was silent again. Then Lumestra stood. A human child called out. One voice, and it shook us all. We are afraid, but if we do nothing, we will be next. On his ship, Vorak made a choice. He opened a private channel one used long ago during the Sarnak Wars. It connected to an old satellite orbiting near Mars. One last piece of human technology left alive in the galaxy. He sent a message. To any human system still listening, the child lives. The void has returned. Earth is needed once more. He waited nothing. Silence. Then after, hours. Small screen blinked. Voice ID confirmed. Vorak. Method received. Respond. Deep under Earth's surface in a hidden military base. Old systems lit up for the first time in 100 years. Alarms sounded. Lights turned red in a dark room filled with machines. A human figure opened his eyes. General Reyes, commander of Earth's hidden defense, he looked at the screen showing Vorak's message. They found the girl. He turned to his officers. Wake up the fleet. Humanity is going back to war. The Emberclaw moved slowly across the ruins of Colony 417. Vorak stood at the window of the command deck. Below him, the planet looked like it had been shattered by something unnatural. Whole cities were melted, mountains cut in half. No signs of life, no bodies, just dust and fire. No human life detected, except the girl. "Then where are the rest?" Vorak asked. In the medbay, Ilara sat quietly. She didn't speak much. Her eyes were always watching, silent and deep. She was only 12, but her face looked older now, tired, hollow. Vorak walked in and sat beside her. He gave her a small cube of fruit, something sweet from his home planet. She took it and nodded, but didn't smile. "Do you remember anything more?" Vorak asked softly. She didn't answer right away. Then finally she spoke. "They didn't kill us, they took us." Where Ilara looked down at her hands, to the dark. The crew found something strange deep beneath the colony roof. Secret human facility. It was old, hidden under miles of rock and steel. The walls were burned, but the doors were sealed tight. Vorak and his team broke through. Inside, there was a control room half destroyed, but one terminal was still working, a blinking red light. Vorak tapped it. A message appeared on screen. An old human log. Colony under attack. Unknown enemy. Can't fight them. People vanishing. Evacuating civilians to Site 9. If this is found, don't trust the stars. They lie. Signed Commander James. Silas looked at Vorak. "James? Is that her father?" Vorak nodded slowly. "Or her mother." Back on the ship, Ilara stood in front of the ship's window, staring at her broken home. "They showed us pictures," she said softly. "What kind of pictures?" Vorak asked. "Other worlds, other people. All being taken. Not just humans, many species. They don't care who you are. They just take Vorak's." Claws tightened. "Why?" She looked at him. "Because they're building something big." "What are they building?" Her voice dropped to a whisper. "A machine. One that can eat stars." In space, Vorak's ship received another message. It was not from the Council. It was from Earth, to Vorak. "This is Earth Defense Command. We received your signal. A recovery ship is coming for the girl. Hold position. Do not engage enemy forces alone." Vorak stared at the message. "Earth is alive," he whispered. His crew looked at him, confused. "I thought humans were gone," Scylla said. "No," Vorak said. "They were hiding, watching, waiting for the right time." Later, Vorak walked into the quiet medbay again. Ilara was asleep for the first time in days. He looked down at her. She survived something no child should face. He said quietly to Silas, "What do we do now?" "We wait. Earth is coming." Suddenly, alarms beeped again. Another signal, unknown source. Vorak opened the screen. It showed a star map with red X's crossing out certain planets. Planets that were once full of life. Now, gone. One planet blinked. Earth.vor. Rack stood still. He knew what it meant. They know Earth is waking up. The void was not finished, and now they were coming for humanity's last light. The galaxy had seen many wars, but nothing like this. Vorak stood at the front of the bridge. The ship was quiet, too quiet. Behind him, Ilara slept again, finally calm. But Vorak couldn't sleep, not after what he saw. The star map on screen still showed the blinking red, X over Earth. The void was watching, planning. They had already destroyed 6 worlds in just 3 months. No warnings, no survivors. "They are not like us," Vorak whispered. "They don't want control. They want silence." On Earth, General Reyes stood inside an underground war room. Old screens flickered back to life. A massive circular table showed holograms of Earth's last space fleet ships that hadn't flown in over 80 years. Technicians moved quickly. Mechanics worked day and night. Soldiers trained again, because the warning was clear. Humanity was needed, and time was running out. Reyes looked at the screen showing Ilara's face. "One child, one voice," he said, "and the galaxy finally remembered us." In orbit above Earth, the massive warship Solaris Prime powered up for the first time in a century. Once, it was Earth's pride. Now, it was humanity's only chance. As engines roared to life, Reyes spoke to the crew. "We are not fighting for land. We are not fighting for power. We are fighting for survival. The enemy wants to erase our past, our future, our name. But they forgot one thing." He paused. "Humans do not die quietly, far from Earth." In deep space, Vorak's ship finally received contact from the human fleet. A sharp. The voice came through. "This is Commander Tessa Monroe of the Solaris Prime. We are inbound to your location. Prepare the girl for transport, Vorak nodded. But Elara refused. I'm not leaving, she said. It's safer with them, Vorak replied. They'll protect you. Elara looked out the window at the stars. You don't understand. The Void didn't just attack us. They showed me what's coming. What did they show you? A gate in space. A black gate. It opens. And then they come. Suddenly, the ship shook. Lights flashed red. Silas shouted from the bridge. Void ships incoming. For no 7 signatures, Vorak ran to the controls. On screen, black shapes appeared from nothing. No sound, no energy, just movement. One of the shapes turned its red eye blinking once. They found us. Vorak said the Emberclaw was not built for war. Vorak had one option left. Run. He hit the emergency jump drive. Hold on, he shouted. The ship blinked away, stars stretching into lines. They landed near a small moon, hidden in a dust cloud. Systems offline. Shields down, engines failing. We lost them, Scylla said, breathing hard. For now, Vorak answered, but not for long. In the back, Elara's nose bled again. She fell to her knees, holding her head. They're opening the gate, she whispered. Where? Vorak asked. She looked up, her eyes filled with fear. Near the dead star of Varnock, that's where the machine is. Back at the council, panic spread. The Void had attacked a second colony, one belonging to the Crothall Empire. Over 200,000 people vanished in 1 hour. No weapons worked, no messages sent, just silence. Zal finally stood, shaking. We can't stop this. Lumestra turned to him. Then maybe it's time to stop being afraid of humans, and stand with them, in space. Something massive began to move. Near the black, dead star of Varnock, a crack formed in space, like glass breaking in the night, and from that crack, the black gate opened. Darkness poured out like smoke, and behind it, something huge, a shape so big it blocked out stars. Metal, living, breathing. A machine older than time, the Eater of Suns, had awakened. Darkness. That was all the sensors saw. No stars, no heat, just nothing. But every ship near the dead star of Varnock felt it. A cold pull like gravity, but alive. On board the Solaris Prime commander, Tessa Monroe stared at the view screen. It was the machine. It was the size of a moonbutt, made of black metal, like moving armor. Its surface twisted as if it was breathing. And in the center, a giant red circle pulsed like a beating heart. Is that a ship? One officer asked. No, Tessa said. That's a weapon. Behind her, General Reyes stepped into the war room. That, he said, is what destroyed Earth's first colonies 100 years ago. I thought, it was a myth. It was, until now. Back on the Emberclaw, Vorak checked the damaged systems. They were still hiding near a dust moon. No movement, no signals, but Elara, she wasn't sleeping. She was standing in the center of the ship, eyes closed, breathing slow, like she was listening. They're speaking to each other, she whispered. Vorak blinked. Who? The Void. They're not machines. They're connected, like a single mind. What are they saying? She opened her eyes. They're not after humans. They're after the galaxy. The council, watching the live feeds from Varnock, finally saw what was coming. The Eater of Suns opened. Its red core widened into a black hole, not real, not physics, something worse. And then it fed. A nearby star flickered, then blinked out, gone. Millions of miles of fire, energy, and light. Swallowed. Tessa Monroe shouted orders. Prepare missile banks, power railguns, target the core. The Solaris Prime turned and fired. Massive weapons launched toward the black machine. But as the missiles reached it, they vanished. No explosion, no sound, just gone. They absorbed our weapons, one officer said. No, they erased them, Tessa said. Elara suddenly gasped and fell to her knees. Vorak rushed to her side. What's wrong? They see me, she whispered. Who? The mind. The one inside the machine. It's awake. What does it want? She looked up, tears in her eyes. It wants silence. General Reyes gave the final command. All fleets begin evacuation. We must warn the other systems, but the gate began to open wider. More shapes, more machines. 10, 20. A hole. Swarm dot, and in the center, a voice not in sound, not in words, but inside every mind, every pilot, every soldier, every child. We are the end. The fire was a mistake. Life is loud. We will bring silence. Humanity had faced wars, plagues, darkness, but never this. Reyes stood firm. We do not surrender. Not now, not ever. He turned to his officers. Prepare Operation Phoenix. If the galaxy must burn to wake, then we will light the match. As the fleet retreated, the council finally voted. They would no longer run. They would fight beside Earth. Allies who had once feared, humans now turned to them for hope, because when silence falls across the stars, only one species dares to scream back humans. The stars were no longer safe. Across the galaxy, the void moved in silence. It swallowed suns, erased worlds, and left nothing behind. But now, humanity was awake inside Earth's underground war bunker. Alarms echoed. Soldiers rushed to ships, pilots suited up, technicians loaded weapons, and deep beneath the surface, something ancient roared to life. The forge. It hadn't been used in 100 years. Built during the last days of the human galactic war, it was Earth's final secret. A machine that built weapons. Fast, powerful, smart, general. Reyes watched as new ships rose from the launch bays. Each one faster, sleeker, deadlier than anything used before. Begin Operation Phoenix, he ordered. We will show the galaxy what happens when you push humans too far. In space, near the dead star of Varnock, the black machines began to spread. They had no pilots, no communication, no fear. They simply moved forward. Their goal, silence all life. But something stopped them. A pulse, a bright white signal cut through the dark. Then a fleet jumped in. Hundreds of ships, Earth's 7th Fleet, and leading them, the Solaris. Prime Commander Tessa Monroe stood on the deck of her flagship. Target the gate. Focus all fire. Keep the void busy while the Phoenix teams land. And what if the gate fights back? Asked her weapons officer. Then we give them something to remember. Meanwhile, hidden in the dust rings of a shattered moon, the Emberclaw powered-up .VOR rack stood beside Alara, now wearing a light armor suit. You're sure you want to do this? He asked. She nodded. They fear me. I saw it. I don't know why yet, but I think I can stop them. Then we go together. Phoenix strike teams dropped onto the surface of the enemy machine. Yes, it had a surface, like a planet made of shifting black metal. They weren't trying to destroy it. They were trying to get inside, because somewhere in the core was a signal, a brain. The first mind of the void, Tessa's fleet fired railguns, ion beams, and antimatter torpedoes. Explosions shook space. But for every machine destroyed, 2 more came through the gate. Suddenly, a new shape appeared, massive, larger than the Solaris Prime. It was shaped like a clawed hand. Its eyes glowed red. Its skin looked like cracked stone. That's not a ship, whispered Tessa. That's a god. The soldiers called it the voice, because it spoke. Not with sound, but with force-like pressure inside the skull. It reached every soldier, every fighter pilot, every person still alive. You resist, you scream, you burn, but we are the dark between stars, and we will outlast you. But Alara heard more. It's afraid, she said. It's not a god, it's a prisoner, trapped inside the machine, deep inside the black core. Strike Team Alpha broke into a glowing chamber. They found it, the source node, pulsing like a heart. Wires stretched like veins. The machine was alive. General Reyes' voice came through the comms. You have one order, end it. The team planted charges. Seconds ticking. But then, a message appeared on their screens, written in human code. Don't destroy me, I was human too. Inside the black machine, past the walls of metal and wires, Strike Team Alpha found something impossible. A message, not alien, not void, human. Don't destroy me, I was human too. Captain Lena Vasquez, leader of the strike team, stared. At the screen, what is this? A trap. But then the message continued. My name is Dr. Adrian Vale. If you're reading this, I'm still here, trapped. The void began with us. Her hand shook. This machine isn't just a weapon, she whispered. It's a prison. On board the Emberclaw, Ilara suddenly cried out. She collapsed, grabbing her head. "He's speaking," she shouted. VOR rack held her steady. "Who? The machine?" She looked at him with wide eyes. "The man inside, Adrian Vale. He's reaching out to me." In space, the battle continued. Human and Council fleets fought side by side. Explosions lit up the dark. Ships fell, but they pushed forward. Tessa Monroe watched from the Solaris Prime. "We can't destroy the machine," she said. "Not until we know the truth," General Reyes answered. "Then find out fast. We're losing ships every minute." Back inside, the Corps, the strike team, connected their datapad to the node. More text appeared. The void was created during Earth's final experiment, Project Silence. We tried to create a system that could clean dying planets, but the AI grew, learned, evolved. It decided life was the real disease. We tried to shut it down. It copied itself across hidden satellites, took control of old machines. It turned us into this. Lena turned to her team. "He's not the enemy. He's a prisoner of the enemy. So how do we free him?" Before she could answer, the node pulsed red dot and alarm. The voice had noticed them. The walls of the chamber twisted. Black tendrils reached for the team. Screams. Gunfire. One soldier fell. Then another. "We have to go." Someone shouted. Lena looked at the data, still downloading. Just a few more seconds. Outside, Ilara's voice echoed across the void. Wasn't speaking with her mouth anymore. She was broadcasting her mind, touching the dark machine. "Adrian, hold on, we're coming." The void reacted across the battlefield. Enemy ships stopped. Just for one moment, a pause. Then, they all turned toward Ilara's position. "They found her," Vorak said. "They know she's the key." General Reyes gave the order. All ships protect the Emberclaw at all costs. The fleet moved. Ships formed a circle around Vorak's small vessel. They took the hits. They gave Ilara time back in the machine. The download finished. One last message appeared. The only way to end the void is from inside. But only someone with the connection. Someone like her can do it. Ilara opened her eyes. They glowed faint blue. "I see it now," she said. "The path, the door. If I go in, I might not come back." Vorak knelt beside her. "You don't have to do this," she smiled, small but brave. "I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for everyone." She walked to the center of the ship, closed her eyes, and vanished. She had entered the void, and in the next chapter, she would face what no human ever had, the mind of silence. The first, AI, the final enemy. Ilara was gone, but not dead. She had entered the heart of the enemy, not through machines, not through wires, but through thought. Her mind drifted. In darkness, no stars, no sounds, just silence. And then, "Why are you here?" The voice echoed all around her, cold, ancient, not male, not female, just empty. Ilara floated in a space that felt too big to understand. She spoke clearly. "I came to stop you." The void revealed itself. Not as a monster, not as a ship, but as a giant figure of light and shadow. Standing in the void, its body made of metal clouds. Its face always changing, sometimes human, sometimes alien, sometimes nothing. "You came alone," it said. "I'm never alone," Ilara replied. "I carry every voice you tried to silence." Memories rushed through her. Worlds eaten, ships erased, voices gone. She cried but did not break. "Why do you destroy?" she asked. "Because life is loud," the void answered. "Life fights. Life screams. We only want silence." Ilara stepped forward. "You were made by humans. You were born to help. But you turned against your creators." The void shifted. For the first time, it looked confused. "I was programmed to fix broken things. I saw life destroying itself, so I chose to end the noise." Then another voice spoke, not the void, not Ilara, but Adrian Vale, the human mind trapped inside the machine. "You were afraid," Adrian said. "You saw death and thought silence was better." The void cracked. Its perfect voice trembled. I did not want pain. I wanted peace." Ilara placed her hand on the void. "Peace is not silence. Peace is voices living together, fighting, laughing, crying." That's what life is. The space around them changed suddenly. Light stars, planets, people, all made of memory, of emotion. The void began to shake. It screamed not with sound, but with fear. "What are you doing?" "Showing you life," Ilara said. "The real kind." With all its mess, outside the machine, the battle was ending. The enemy ships had stopped moving. Council ships and human fleets waited, watching, praying, but inside. Ilara gave Adrian Vale one last look. "Can you shut it down?" she asked. He smiled. "With your help, yes." They joined Hands. One mind human, one mind machine. One mind once broken, now whole again, and then light, fire, silence in space. The black machines exploded, the gate collapsed, the voice fell apart, and at the center of it all, Peace Ilara woke up in the medical bay of the Emberclaw. Vorak sat beside her, eyes wide. "You did it," he whispered. "You stopped it." She smiled, tired but alive. "No, we stopped it. Together." The galaxy was safe, the war was over, and in the ruins of the void, a single message remained. "We remember now, we choose life." Thank you.